Hello, this is Alejandro Brati from Believe in Yourself, Believe in Your Business, and welcome to the Spanish World Network on Single TV channel 250 and 251. Please remember to download both the Single TV app on the respective app stores on iOS and Android devices. While you download, make sure you rate and leave a comment. The app is free. Single TV is available on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire, Roku, and all smart TVs. Today, I am really happy that we have an amazing woman, Sandy. This is great. I am very honored that have you here in this program today.
I am excited to be here, Alejandro.
So we are going to be talking in different areas and especially in your story and your life. I would like to start with what are you doing right now, and then we are going to go back in your life, how you started to believe in yourself.
All right. Well, what I'm doing right now is I'm a success mindset coach, a destiny maker, a success accelerator. I've been taught and mentored and worked with legendary Bob Proctor. So I have a global coaching practice where I help people partner with me to help cut the crap. And crap is an acronym I use. It stands for counterproductive, really asinine programming, because you got it, I've got it, we've all got it. And that's what gets in our way of creating high levels of success that we're all capable of. It's never a lack of talent or capability. So I help people cut the crap to accelerate success and step into their inspired destinies. So I have a company called Inspired Destinies.
Yeah, I love it. Really, I am one of those fans of Bob Proctor and all his teachings, and I know that you continue his legacy, and that is really amazing what you are doing. So that is really cool, and that's one of the main reason I am really like excited today. Like, wow, learning about this and learning about you. You learn with him directly, so this is really great. So, Sandy, if we go back in your life and we start to think, like, okay, you start to think in a moment where you didn't really were believing in yourself, and some stories of all the things that when you have this crap in your head and this thing that were happening, how was you? How was everything for you? And what did you do to start to believe in yourself?
Well, you know what? If I step back a little earlier than that point, and I've definitely had that point, and I'll share with you at that point where I was not believing in myself. But I started out my career as a physiotherapist. I was a highly sought after physiotherapist, so very successful there. I went back for an MBA and then into corporate. Experienced high level corporate success in multinational companies and leadership, and those two came very easily to me because, and this is what I teach in our programs, because my self image was aligned with the career direction, the success in my career that I had been seeking. So when your self image is aligned, then success can come easily. You actually commit more fully. You want to lean in to create the kind of success that you're actually looking for. So I actually call that a success triad, being clear about what you want. So in that case, I wanted to be a highly sought after physio, or I wanted to be a leader in corporate. So I was clear and excited about what I want. I call that clarity of desire. My self-image supported that. And so I was all in committed. Those are the three things: clarity of desire, a self-image that supports, and all in commitment. So that was actually in play with me. It's always in play with all of us, but that was in play with me, which is what allowed me to experience success easily without even thinking about it. I didn't know they were in play with me because I didn't know at that point that's how success works. But that's looking back, and I love Steve Jobs' quote, right? You can't connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect them looking back. So looking back, I can absolutely say, yeah, totally. My self-image, my belief in myself was absolutely there in terms of physiotherapy, corporate. Okay, so back to your question. When I switched out of corporate for personal reasons, because one of my kids had some health issues, I decided I wanted to work from home and be flexible. And so I started some different entrepreneurial type adventures. And because I had experienced such high level success without trying, without thinking I was trying, in my two previous career chapters, I expected high level success as an entrepreneur. It didn't happen at all for years. I was struggling and I couldn't figure out why. And that's when my belief, again, looking back, I know I did not believe in myself as an entrepreneur because I used to say things like, I'm not a salesperson. I've always been comfortable in the corporate world or in the job world, and being that entrepreneur, I got to create the whole structure and process and go get the business. Yeah, I'm not really that type of person. So I actually did not believe in myself to create entrepreneurial success. And so I didn't experience it. Now, when I got immersed into Bob Proctor's programs, in particular his Thinking into Results program, which is a phenomenal world-class success system, that's when I started to see and understand how much my belief in myself, my understanding of what I'm capable of, what I should and shouldn't do, how the world should react around me. That's all my self-image. And self-image is the biggest part of our programming, or another word for programming is conditioning, wiring, paradigms, comfort zone. It's all the same thing. So in being immersed with Bob and working with Bob and understanding how this works is that we're all programmed. And research shows that between 96 and 98% of the time, we're operating from programming. We're not thinking above and beyond our programming. We're actually in our programming. And so your programming will define and dictate your results. So with my programming was not supporting myself as an entrepreneur, but I shifted into this, immersing into this material to work on my programming or paradigms and comfort zone, to switch it into alignment. And then I started to accelerate and became a top level coach working with Bob, and I have a very successful coaching practice. So when you understand how success works and you work on how, that big element, the biggest part of our programming, again, is self-image, you start to work on that and shift that into alignment to support the kind of dream goals that you're thinking of. Magic happens. That's what it feels like. It becomes.
I I love this topic, and for me, this topic is really interesting. Self-image, or maybe identity, understanding what I believe I am. That is really key with everything that we want to do. But one question that I have in that area in specific, because you were talking about, okay, I am not a salesperson, of course. Sometimes we have a very high self image about ourselves, like I can do everything and I can change the world. But when I start to talk about other topics like selling, suddenly I am a little mouse, like a very little,
Yep.
that
Yep.
I am not ready for to do that, because, and especially if it's selling yourself. If you are selling other people's stuff, you are amazing. But when you are selling your own stuff, suddenly you are nobody, and why people will like this value, and why all the things. So tell me, in regards of that, how was the process of changing inside of you, how you started to realize that, okay, I have to change this, and even how you connected with, like, okay, I am a salesperson, I can sell, we are selling all the time, but I didn't realize that, how I can start to have a better self-image in that area, because at the end our self-image covers everything, but sometimes in one area I am amazing, and the other one I am really, I don't like myself.
No, absolutely. And there's a few good points in there that you've just raised. I mean, first of all, we all have a strong self-image in various aspects of our lives, right? It might be as a parent, it might be in a previous job, it might be as a community leader or coach. So we all have, because a lot of people say that to me and say, but I think I do have a strong self-image. I said, yes, you do in many areas of your lives, but not where that dream goal success is sitting. That's where your self-image is out of alignment. So to get for all personal development, I mean, again, and I emphasize this time and time again in every event, podcast, whatever, because to me, you can't say it enough. None of us lack the talent or the capability. We are, science and theology, the only two sources you can go to, both agree that we're barely scratching the surface of all that we are. So we do not lack the talent or capability to create that dream goal success. We have to get that programming. That's what's limiting us at all times. So one of the key aspects of what we believe about ourselves is, and you might have even heard this quote, it's not who we are that holds us back, it's who we think we're not.
Mm.
So it's not who we are. We are so much. We're sitting on gold mines of talent. It's who we think we're not. And I just said, I'm not a salesperson, right?
Exactly.
And I'm not an entrepreneur. When I first came out of corporate, I'm not really an entrepreneur, but I'll try. Right? So I was coming in with this. I'm not programming. So, one of the things that, well, there's numerous things that you want to address and pay attention and give your attention to, in order to grow with your grow that self-image, expand it. Um, the oh, I was just going to say something and just lost that thought. That's okay. I'll keep going. So to one of the things to first, oh, I know what I was going to say, awareness. All personal development is about awareness. It's about increasing your awareness of all that you are and all that you can be, which is infinite because there's no limit. So, and awareness about how success works and how to work with natural laws. And natural laws, there's 7 primary laws of the universe and a ton of secondary laws. And some of those people have heard of: the law of cause and effect, the law of vibration. These are based on science, on physics. And the law of vibration, the secondary law to that is the law of attraction. You can only attract on the same frequency that you're on. So if your dream goals are on higher frequency, but you're down here going, oh yeah, but I'm not very good at that, and I'm not a salesperson, and how will I ever get up to my, well, you're going to attract on the vibration you're on. So when you understand, increase your awareness about who and what you are, how success works, working in harmony with laws. I mean, we work in harmony with physical laws like gravity. We don't understand how gravity works. Science doesn't understand it, but we sure as heck know we better obey that law, or the consequences could be dire, right? So when you understand all this and you're starting to increase your awareness, you're starting to take control. And so in the area of self-image, when you start to understand how to embrace your talents, open up your gifts. We're all gifted. We're all gifted. Most of us haven't unwrapped the gifts yet. So, understanding how to open up your gifts, how to embrace your talents and potential, we all have our narrative. We've all 24/7, well, except when you're sleeping, you've got a narrative going on about yourself. That, well, what if that doesn't work out, or I'm not very good at this, or I shouldn't do that, or why would somebody believe in me or want to work with, we've got all this narrative going on. It comes from lack and limitation. So when you start to learn how to change the narrative, and one of the things we have a program called the Self-Image of Your Dreams, and it's it's high vibe program that's blasting the subconscious, creating new programming with messages about how incredible and capable you are. And you are, but your subconscious doesn't know that. That's where the programming sits. So when you blast your subconscious with more positive messaging on a consistent basis that you get emotionally engaged around, that raises your vibe, you're starting to create new programming that will eventually override the old programming. And that's how you shift your self-image programming up to meet the level of your dream goals.
And I am going to go a little bit back here because people can listen to, okay, a programming is like, no, I am not in Matrix. I don't want to believe that I am in Matrix or something like that. And suddenly I start to reject that idea. So what do you do when you start, before you realize that you have those programming, how to help people to awake that they have that, and they have this self-image, talking about all these things? What are the things that you are doing with that? I know that with coaching it's a way, but when before they start to realize that they need some type of coaching or some type of help, what are the things that you are talking to them, or that you realize in yourself when you started to do like this? I am an entrepreneur, but I am talking all these bad things about myself. How you connected with this, all the programming from Bob Proctor to help you to realize all these things? How was that process for you?
Well, there's tools that we use to start becoming aware, right? Like we've all got programming, and we've got lots of good programming, obviously, because we've all had success. We're all successful people in various ways in different areas of our lives. But it's the programming, it's the beliefs. So let's simplify. We'll call programming beliefs, because that's huge. the biggest chunk of our programming is around beliefs, including self-image. So, we've got lots of beliefs that serve us well, but if you take a look at beliefs around success, do you believe that you deserve success or not? Around money, is money easy to earn? Money's hard to learn. Is money earn? Is there a lot of money out there, or money is scarce, right? So we've got beliefs. You can go through work-life balance, relationships, parenting, health, age, gender, entrepreneur versus corporate. There's you can do a fun inventory and go, where am I with this, and start to see, okay, I have beliefs, and don't judge them. Beliefs aren't right or wrong. The bottom line is, are they serving you
Mm.
as it relates to progressing towards a dream goal? So you can start to take a look at your beliefs and do a fun inventory, and our beliefs, they're there, and a lot of them, I mean, most of our beliefs have come from the programming of other people, usually well-intentioned people called parents, teachers, coaches, community leaders, right? So you can take a look at some of the programming that you start to see about yourself, or your beliefs that you see. You go, oh, I know where that one came from. That was my granny. My granny always used to say that, right? It's kind of fun and amusing at times. You go, oh, that's where that one's come from. But it's their programming. It's become your programming. And you know what? Most of our programming, a lot of the programming is actually not aligned with your authentic self. And I call it having a case of mistaken identity. Your programming is not your programming. Well, it is, because you have to do something about it, but it's not your programming. Again, it's the programming of parents, teachers, etc. So that programming is often actually not aligned with who and what you are. I mean, how many people are in jobs that they kind of got pushed towards because the parents wanted them to do that? I mean, I have a good close friend that was in engineering only because his dad wanted him to be in engineering, and he got out of it. He's loving what he's doing now. So, we often do things according to the programming of others, and it creates, in many cases, a case of mistaken identity. I'm not being the person I really am inside. And sometimes we get caught there for all good reasons, because, well, maybe I've started a family and I better keep the job because now I've got kids to support. And so there's good reasons why that's happening. But bottom line is to take a look again. You start doing an inventory. Here's what I really want. So before you can really take a look at your self-image, you've got to first know what is it you really want, because that self-image needs to align with something. And if it's dream goals, you got to get clear. You got to get clarity and impassioned, excited about creating next level success. And that's that clarity of desire. And then once you've got that clear and you are excited, oh, I would love that, then it's okay. Let me take a look at my self-image, my belief system in particular, and say, what are my beliefs? And are they supporting that? Yes or no? Not right or wrong. It's not a judgment. It's just, are they or not? And as you see, oh, there's certain things here. Like I want to be a highly successful entrepreneur, but my belief is sales is sleazy. It's pestering people.
Mm.
Right? That's a really common one. Well, that's not serving me, because as an entrepreneur, I sure as heck better start selling, right? If I'm going to be a successful entrepreneur. So did that answer your question, right? There's tools that we use to start taking kind of an inventory. How do these various sets of beliefs line up with the kind of success you're looking for? They're aligned with all sorts of other
I
good things in your life.
I like it a lot. Maybe one thing that I will ask you here right now is about you, like something that happened to you and how you realize those things in your life. Exactly what happened before you started, you were believing in yourself, and how was that process, and how much time it takes for you. I know that every person is different, but this is something that is very important. So it's very good to have the awareness because you can do something about it, but that is not everything. At the end, it's like, okay, I have the awareness, and next day, oh, I continue having the awareness, but nothing is happening, and the next day, nothing is happening. It's like, oh, I that is not working anymore. So
Yeah.
I want to hear that from your story, like from your point of view, what happened to you, and then how you're helping to realize, like, for example, in my case, when I gained the clarity that for me, my three words of awareness, the best one that I am using for my life is consciousness,
Hmm.
process, and legacy. because those are the three things that I want to live in the world. It's like, wow, now I know who I want to be, and everything that I am doing, and including if I am entering a project or not, depends if that is going to help me to increase my awareness, to have to understand that this takes a time and there is a process inside of that, and I want to leave a legacy.
Excellent. Okay, let me comment on something here because you're using the word which I love, and I've already mentioned too, awareness. Here's the thing, though. There's two types of awareness that I talk about. There's two types of awareness. One is conceptual awareness or intellectual awareness. And that's where a lot of people are in personal development. How many people have gone into personal development, spent a lot of money on great world-class material in personal development, and yes, made some gains, but not breaking through where they expected to, and where when they were on that Tony Robbins or Bob Proctor or Joe Dispenza were on that weekend, got into this vibe of, yes, I can do this, but not seeing the results. Okay, most people are sitting with conceptual awareness of these really powerful concepts. So they intellectually understand it. They can make sense of it. Oh yeah, if you do that, that would be, so they can intellectually make sense of it. The second type, which is where, here's the rub, this is where personal development will take off. It's where it's called internalized awareness. And it's where you start to internalize the concepts that are start to register at various inner emotional states. And they hit that emotional state, and major shifts happen when they hit the emotional state. Why? Because all that programming is sitting at the subconscious level, which is the emotional mind. And emotion is motion.
Energy in motion, yeah.
Yeah, the Latin word of emotion is energy in motion. So when you get more emotionally involved with these concepts, and like, you know what, here's such a common example. People will, I'll start coaching with someone or be on our programs, and the first thing we do, because all success begins with desire, is to get people clear. And they'll get crystal clear on their goal. Oh yeah, I want it. And this was where, okay, I'm going to answer an earlier question for you. When I first started in my entrepreneurial journey, I had a financial goal. Yeah, I want to make $1 million. I want to hit $1 million revenue, and I know I can. And I was, and if you would ask me then, am I emotionally involved with that? I go, yeah, I really want it. I was intellectually enamored with it. I was not internalizing all of that to really understand how to be internally passionately engaged with my goal. So it was more of an intellectual endeavor. When that happens, it's wishful thinking. It's hoping and wishing. So when you look at internalizing the concepts about yourself, and so I was struggling as an entrepreneur because I was sitting at the intellectual level and not understanding how to internalize. It is when you start, and when I started to internalize. How do you internalize? You start to understand how to get more and more emotionally involved with your goal, with who and what you are. We have some exercises where people do some really powerful, inspiring mirror work, not just taking your affirmations to the mirror, but we have some incredible video to do that too. And there's various aspects of how to get more and more emotionally involved with your goal, with who and what you are, that really raises your vibe. And that allows you to attract differently if you're raising your vibe. So that's what I did. And that's what I have my clients do, right? You have to look at
How much time it take for you, and how much time is taking for your?
So it was about a year when I really started to understand how to, because I spent, even working with Bob, I've been 6 years with my coaching business. Okay. And the first year and a half, I was doing just kind of okay, but it's like, wow, I thought I'd be, way better, way more successful. And it wasn't till about a year and a half in that I started to understand, and I started to get the guidance and the support and the accountability that we all need to shift the programming, because that programming is in there, but good. So when I started to get that consistency of support and I started to understand how to get more and more emotionally involved, that was about a year and a half into it, and everything started to shift. And some clients will tell you, I've had clients, I've had some clients, there's a couple I'm thinking of right off the top. One was an NHL hockey player, okay? And he retired from the NHL, sets himself up as an entrepreneur in financial advisory. And when I met him, his self-image was nowhere near. I mean, so here's a case: great self-image in hockey, obviously,
Yeah.
NHL caliber, but as an entrepreneur, just like I was strong self-image over here and switched to being an entrepreneur, and his self-image was awful. He started working with me, and within 2 months, no, 3 months, he was everything had shifted for him. In fact, he gave me a call one day and said, "Sandy, what is happening?" I said, "I don't know. What's happening? Tell me. What? Talk to me." He said, "I feel like opportunities are dropping out of the sky into my lap. What's going on?" I said, your self-image has shifted dramatically, has it not? He said, "Yeah, it actually has." I said, "So you are in a totally different belief about yourself, a totally different vibe, and you are attracting very differently. That's exactly how it works. And it feels like things all of a sudden happen and you don't understand why. It's all because you've shifted your vibration." And so for him, it was about 3 months in. I had another gentleman, again, about 3 months. He started with me. Funnily enough, he was in financial advisory too. And he thought he just wanted to really boost that business. He'd been doing great, and he was probably in his late 40s. He'd done really well, but he thought, I really want to kind of triple my business. I really want to kick it up into higher gear. Within 3 months after the self-image work, he came back to me and he was actually shaking a little bit. And he said, "Sandy, I think I've changed my goal altogether." I said, "Okay, what's changed?" He said, "I've been, doing all this self-image work. I'm tapping into really what I want and what I believe about myself. And I love the construction renovation business." Long story short, he did make the switch. 3 months later, he totally left financial advice. Even though he's got family to support, he set himself up as in a renovation business. He had clients coming out the ears within months. He's so busy. He's already, within another 3-4 months, he was hiring people to support. He said, "I am so tired, exhausted, but I'm happier than I've ever been. I wake up every morning with the spring in my step, and I know this is me."
Mm, mm.
So, it depends. As you said, it depends on the
I
person.
mean, in regards, and I love it really, and that's what I wanted to share with everybody that is listening to us. Is exactly that this is not something that happens in 1 minute. I
No,
know that can
no.
go quick, but it's not something that happens in 1 minute. It's something that you take some process, and you have to be discovering and start to work with the awareness and the thing. Let's see what Sharon is sharing with us today. Sandy is amazing at helping people with changing their self-image. As one of her clients, that's great, Sharon. I will tell you that she works miracles, and I agree. So
Well, and Sharon is a wonderful story as well. When I first started with her about 2.5 years ago, she had very small goals. She didn't have a great belief about what she was capable of. And her goals were small because she didn't believe she was capable of big things. Well, watching her self image shift over time, I mean, she's knocking that out of the park. She's got 3 businesses going. Her impact on people is profound, and she knows the sky's the limit for her. And her whole energy relative to 2.5 years ago, totally different. It's just, you know what? That's what makes my work so rewarding. It's to see the shifting in people because it's within them. I'm just kind of uncovering the crap on top, right? That counterproductive, really asinine programming. I'm uncovering or shifting that crap out of the way to allow an authentic self to come forth. It's just absolutely fulfilling for the person and for me.
and let's go a little bit because I know that, for example, the title for today is stepping into your inspired destiny, and I believe everybody has an inspired destiny. But what happens when they are not believing that? What happens when they are thinking that, oh, I am here in this world, but I don't know why I'm here? It's like, and there is a lot of people that is really without any purpose or any destiny. Like they feel like, oh, I am happy and I am alive and I have another day to continue completing that goal. How are you helping them to start to cut the crap of all the limiting beliefs that they have in their head, stopping them to see like the forest, and they are only looking at the crap in front
Well,
of them? Because I
yeah.
know that is the first step. First, know what do you want. I don't know if I want anything because nothing is working in my life. So I am just giving an examples.
The Yes, that's really common because people will reject out of hand any kind of big dream goal, and oh, I need to be happy with where I'm at. Nothing's worked in the past. I mean, the past has no bearing on the future unless you let it. And most people let it. Most people are are thinking, dwelling, and dwelling means to repeatedly think about. So most people dwell on what's gone on in the past, which means your emotions are attached to the past, not the future.
Mm.
So when we're working with people, we're first working with people um, to show them how to give themselves permission to start dreaming, stop projecting, start dreaming. So you got to give yourself permission to do so. And that really, it comes down to, yes, you are where you are, and you should always be happy about what's happened up till now. Celebrate what's happened till now. Be grateful for where you're at right now. But as Bob Proctor always used to say, but never satisfied. Never satisfied. Why? Because the human spirit is all about growth and creation and expansion, fuller expression. That is the condition of the human spirit. It is in us all to want to do more, to be more, to have more. There's nothing wrong with that. That's absolutely what's in all of us. So we shouldn't be snuffing that out.
Mm.
So you should always be that little bit dissatisfied. Oh, how can I what can I create more? So when you first start, you've got to allow yourself to take a look at that. Well, then what would I truly want? And there's various questions to ask. I actually call it I've got a tool called finding your sweet spot. And what I define as your sweet spot, and when you're in your sweet spot and you're in an amazing vibe, your sweet spot is the intersection. You know how we learned in grammar school or high school Venn diagrams, right? So you
Yeah.
think of you think of three circles overlapping. Okay, well, the first circle is, and this is getting into your sweet spot. The first circle is, what do I love to do? And you don't hold back. Just start dreaming. What do I love to do? And get granular. I love to help people. Help people do what, right? Because I got people get people easily get caught at too high a level, and if it's too high a level, it's hard to get internalized. It's hard to get emotionally involved. So you help people do what? Well, I love to help people understand how success works. I love people how understand how finances work and how actually they can create. So the more granular you get in terms of understanding what do I love to do, and you can look at all avenues, whether it's the arts or athletics or what have you. So what do you love to do? The second part is, what are you good at and want to keep getting better at?
Mm.
And then the third part is, how can you take what I love to do and what I'm good at and want to keep getting better at to serve people? Because if you want to reach big dream goals, you must be in service. So when you're in the intersection of the three, what I'm doing, I love to do. I know I'm really good at it, and I'm always looking for ways to be better. And I know I'm helping people. I'm in an amazing vibe, and I am sure. I'll tell you, as any of my clients will.
Mhm.
So that's the first thing. When you start to you allow yourself to explore, okay, what would my sweet spot be? Then you start to get a charge going. It's like, oh, maybe I could do this. Well, yeah, you can if you really want it, and we'll work on the beliefs once you get that clarity. But that's the first step. You got, again, all success begins with desire. You've got to start to explore and give yourself permission to explore, what is it I truly would love to be doing? And you don't want to be influenced. It's got to be you. It's got to be you. This is your authentic self, right? Because too many times we put ourselves second or 30 down to everything else going on in life, right? My spouse, my family, my career, my career that I'm not enjoying, my health, my parents I'm looking after, right? So we come way down. It's like, and everybody's got opinions about what they think you should do. It's like, no, I want to know what I think, what I feel I want to do.
Mm.
And so that's how it all starts.
That is really cool. And so you started to believe in yourself. What started to happen later, and how you connected with others? How was that process to really like, okay, now I know who I am. Now I know what I want to do. How was that next step? Like, okay, and or maybe let's continue with that area that you were saying, like continue internalizing, or some tools that we can share with somebody now. I know that they can contact you and work with you, but if they want to start to realize what are some things that they can start to do, like meditation, or I don't know what thing. You
Well,
are
you know what? I would encourage everybody to start working on their sweet spot, right? And what you
okay.
can do is sit down in the same comfy chair every same time of day. And morning's always best because it's clean, it's fresh, it's quiet. But whatever time of day you want, with your mug of coffee or smoothie or a glass of wine, I don't care. Sit down in the same spot every day, grab a journal, and allow yourself to dream. What do I love to do? And what am I
Mm,
good at? What would I love to keep getting better at? And just write anything down. Nothing. You do not reject anything. As soon as you start rejecting, you're closing off your imagination, right? You're
mm,
snuffing out your own creativity. As soon as you go, I can't do that, right? Your brain will
mhm,
just go, oh well. But if you allow any idea, it's like say you're trying to think of what do you love to do? I love reading books at the top of sitting on the top of trees. Okay, write it down. I don't care how silly it is. Write it down. That just allows your brain to stay in creation mode. And so if you spend every day, say spend 2 weeks doing this for 20 minutes every morning, grab your coffee, you're sitting down. Okay, what do I love to do? What am I good at? And anything that comes, I'm going to write down. Same time every day, I'm going to do that. And after 2 weeks, you're going to see a kind of a mirage of neat stuff there. And I bet you'll see some themes there. I keep coming back to this one, right? And that's a tool to get started on that.
mm,
Once you get that clarity, so I would encourage all of your audience to really start doing that. If you haven't done that already, give yourself permission and don't you're not going to act on anything, any of your ideas. It's not saying, whoa, I have to act on that. No, we're just brainstorming here. And the rules of brainstorming is every idea counts. So, once you get that clarity, then it's a matter of creating the right habits that support that. Habits just mean, when we talk about habits, it's things we do automatically without thinking. That means programming. So habits is programming. So what's the new programming I need? I mean, our minds operate exactly like a computer. A computer can only do what its programming allows. Same with you or me. We can only do what our programming is allowing. So now that we've got clarity and we're excited about something, it's like, okay, what's the new programming that supports that? Meaning new habits, habitual ways of thinking about myself, habitual ways of feeling about myself, and habitual behaviors that support moving towards your goal. So, we get into a process of starting to work on the right programming, the habits that will align with that will allow you to accelerate towards your goal. We start to understand how to think beyond our programming, right? And here's a cool tool. I love sharing this one. To get out of your traditional way of viewing any situation, you can set yourself up with what I call an imaginary board of advisors. Okay,
mm,
and you can put anybody on that board. I would consider 4 to 6 people on that board. Okay, the person can be alive or no longer with us. They can be real or fictitious. They can be someone you know or celebrity. So I often use people like Bob Proctor, whom I know or knew, but people like Richard Branson or Elon Musk, and I use their Oprah, and I use them because Branson's got this entrepreneurial fun flair about him. Elon Musk has got this wild creativity about him. Oprah's got a whole other. Hers is kind of an integrity and thoughtfulness, and there's and Bob's got something different. I've got my one of my uncles on there who was a lot of fun in creating an entrepreneur. So I've got 5 people on my board, and here's what you do, how you use it when you're faced with something like, oh, I don't know how to do this, or what I'm doing isn't working. Why isn't it working? Pose the question to your board members
mm.
and then imagine what they'll say. How would Richard Branson respond to that situation? Oh, for goodness sakes, all you do, why don't you just do such and such? And pick people that you can kind of understand how they might react. Right. And so it's such a fabulous tool. You can use this tool. Well, you know what? Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich, he used this concept every single night when he was going to sleep. He would imagine putting an issue towards his board, which consisted of people like Rockefeller, Carnegie, Schwab, right, Ford, and he would pose a challenge he was having and imagine what they would say about it. So he did it every night before going to bed. I tell my clients, use it weekly or at least once a month on a challenge, but use it weekly. Just sit in front of your board and go, yeah, I'd like to do better in this area. Do you have any ideas? And what that does is pull you out of your own line of thinking, which is narrow.
That's
into a
really
much broader perspectives, right? That allow
wow.
you to go, oh, actually, that's a neat idea. I'm glad I came up with it. You wouldn't have come up with it until you went into somebody else's line of thinking, right? So that's a cool
That's
tool.
really cool.
Yeah.
And I am writing. That's why I'm looking down because this is really cool.
Yeah.
Eh, no, that is really cool. Let's continue with entrepreneurs because I really work with a lot of entrepreneurs, and I know that we have been talking a lot. This is believe in yourself, believe in your business. This program, it's because
Yep.
at the end is you want to believe in yourself in your business, and you want to grow your business. You have to start to believe in yourself and
You
start
sure
to
do.
see what are the things that are stopping you or limiting you to really think big. So this idea of having their own board that they have to be thinking and asking, that it's brilliant. I love it.
And it
So
works. It works.
yeah, I can see how it works. It's really amazing because in my case, I have seen a lot when I am working with somebody. If I start to ask them, okay, imagine yourself in 10 years and what that person is going to tell you, suddenly they have an answer. Or if you have to give an advice to another person about that, suddenly they have an advice. But before, if they have to think, they are blocked and they can see
Right.
anything.
Right.
So this, okay, if that is like bigger because it's going to, okay, let's ask Elon Musk what he's going to say, and he's going to say Twitter is doing another thing. But in regards of that, when you are maybe not starting, because I know you know that in entrepreneurship there is different stages. Sometimes at the beginning, okay, you need to find money and way to do what you want to do. Then you start to find some people that even invest in you, and that it's amazing. uh, but suddenly you start to have your startup or something, and you are not feeling that you are in the same place because suddenly your company is changing. How you start to help them to think like, okay, you have to move and start to think differently, and you have to be ready to be changing stages if you want to continue having that company for yourself. If you want to sell it, well, that's okay, and that's your exit idea. But in that case, when you started to come from let's start a business to let's grow a business and escalate this business, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, your where you are in your business, like it's a great example, and we see it all the time, right? You start your own business, and you get excited about it because you're working with a concept that you're excited about. Maybe that's why you left corporate or whatever, and you start you go through your hiccups, but you get stride, you get into stride, and you get some momentum, and you're doing well, and all of a sudden you start to slow down and things start to go ah. And so, what's going on? It's like, well, you are actually, and I've got a client that we're having discussions about this every week in her coaching calls, because she's got a phenomenal business, but she wants to be the $1 million earner, and she's been doing great business so far, but she's about I don't know, maybe a quarter of that, and she wants to be the $1 million earner, but she's still thinking like the $250,000 earner. Okay, and so what you have to take a look at. You want to be the $1 million earner? How does that person think every day? How are they thinking? What are they thinking about? How are they feeling every day when they get up out of bed? And how are they operating? What are their habits? And so in our discussions with this particular client, it's like, but you're not thinking and feeling and operating like the $1 million earner. That's why you're stuck at the $250,000. So you got to change the way you're thinking. And a great example is she was saying, yes, but I need to do it. Clients are signing up with me. I can't hand them off to everybody else. It's like, well, then you're stuck with the numbers. How many clients can you see on a daily, weekly, monthly basis? And can you see that many and reach 1 million? She goes, no. I said, you have to change the way you think. You think everybody needs you and nobody can come up to do the same degree of excellence as you. That's your thinking. It's not serving you. It's been serving you till now, but it's not serving you to get to the $1 million mark. You got to
Mhm.
change the way you're thinking about that. So we're working on new ways of thinking about her business, right? It's the people, the pricing, The what was the other thing we're looking at? The tools, people, and pricing to take a look at her business to operate in a different way. And that's what it comes down to with a lot of people. With a lot of people that in the circumstance you've raised, you hit that ceiling and things aren't working anymore. You take a look at the way you're thinking about the tools, the people, and your pricing in your business, and you can
Even
start
in
making
the
shift.
tools you are putting the systems. If you have any system, or maybe you have to change the systems.
Sure, or it might be something as basic as, I mean, one of the things I was talking to her about is everything you do with clients. Is there not a commonality that every client has to go through the same kind of coaching with you? Yeah, yeah. She goes, quite a few. I said, well, take that off the plate with them. Uh, um, what's the word? Make it an online automate it. I couldn't land on that word. Automate it. Make it an online program or that they can watch it first and then you have a call with them. So now you're not working the same old thing with each client. You're not working that same stuff. It's foundational. You can teach them by an online webinar with them, and then you do the one-on-one after that, and that can cut that some of that coaching by 30% or 50%. So yeah, tools can be, how do I automate differently, right? How do I use people differently that can do part of the delivery that I'm not doing as much, and that allows me to rise above and go for bigger, more people coming in, raise the revenues.
Okay, I know that in some weeks we are going to have another call because of a
Yes,
book that you are launching.
I am.
So give us a little sneak of what you are doing,
Mhm.
and what is going to happen with this book
I
that you are.
will. I will. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to do that. I mean, first of all, we've been rebranding. So our company is called Inspired Destinies, and it's really all about helping people step into, take center stage, step into the spotlight, and create your own inspired destiny. You don't lack the talent or capability. So it's about how do you step into your inspired destiny. And the our first book launch is coming up next month, and at the end of October, October 25th. And I'm really excited about it. It's called Navigating the High Seas to Success. Now, high C is a capital C, not SEA like the ocean. High C. Why have I called it that? Because in my experience with my own journey and all the work that I've been doing with clients over the years, I've actually discovered 8 different steps. And so it's navigating the high seas to success, an 8-step charted course to extraordinary achievement. And the 8 steps all start with the letter C. And if you follow these in order, like connection, the first one's called connection. How do you connect with your inner self? Right? Give yourself permission to really understand what you want, and the world beyond you. There's way more to the world around you than just you. So how do you connect to your outer world? Okay. So connection is the first thing. How do I connect to my inner voice? Then how do I get into creation mode to really start allowing myself to create the kind of future I do want? Then how do I get myself clear? So I'm getting in creation mode. How do I get clear about that desire? Then how do I get my conditioning, my programming to align with that? Then how do I up my level of commitment? How do I get more consistent? So this is all kind of following step by step. Celebration's another one. Collaboration's another one. So there's various things in each chapter. There's a lot of quotes that support each chapter. A lot of quotes that you'll be familiar with. Some are probably new, but they all line up with the concept of each chapter. And each chapter has a quick assessment to understand where you're at in that particular concept, and an exercise to work on. So it's very hands-on, it's very inspirational, it's light, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm really excited to get launching next October 25th.
That's really cool. So really, Sandy, this has been amazing for me. It's like really enjoying. As I told you, I wrote like a couple of pages, and I know I don't do that when I am doing an interview. So it was great. Tell
Awesome.
me, if you want to say something, if somebody is listening right now and saying like, okay, I got some of that thing, maybe I like that part of programming or not, I like something about this awareness or not, but just to let them something about, okay, believe that you have an inspired destiny even when you don't know it, but I am here to tell you, you have something inspired for them. What will you say to them?
I would say that you never lack the talent or capability to do anything you truly desire. You can step into your inspired destiny. You know what? When you do cut the crap, that counterproductive, really asinine programming, we cut the crap and do the right things in the right order with the right mindset in the right environment, which is what we provide. Then that's when success becomes easy. So if you go to my website at inspireddestinies.com, there's lots of fun information there. You can always book a call. It's a free call. Talk to me. I can see where you're at, what you're looking for, and see how we can help you. But you know what? Don't hold back. It's in us all to want to be more, to do more, to have more. That is the condition of your spirit. It wants to soar, and we'll show you how to soar. Don't hold back.
That's really cool. So thank you, Sandy. It was great. I know that we are going to have in some weeks another call, and we are going to continue talking about this. So thank you for your time today. It was amazing.
Alejandro, thank you so much. I appreciate your time and the privilege of speaking with you.
Yeah, no, it was really amazing, and I hope that everybody that is listening today has been like inspired, and they start to see like, okay, I have a better destiny. Even if you have a good one, you can be having something better than that. So that's part of
Absolutely.
our lives, and that's what we are looking for, and that's why we have this program. It's about believing yourself and believe that you can do some things bigger than yourself.
And you can.
So thank you, Sandy. Thank you all
Thank you
that were
again.
to us today. This show can also be heard on Spanglish Radio Network. Please check out spanglishworld.ca for all the news and programming. Spanglish World, watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and leave it. Thank you all.